Hi and welcome to this Key Learning Initiative video. Today's topic is determining the equation of a straight line graph, and it's part 1, or a linear graph. Before we get going, please remember to like the video, to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and sharing is caring, so please do share this video with friends and family so that more and more people can see these videos. But let's get going with today's topic. Straight line graphs. Straight line graphs. Now, for a straight line graph, we use a formula y equals mx plus c. Now, m is your gradient and c is your y-intercept or your constant. So, sometimes instead of y, we call it f of x, and you'll see how we use f of x in our examples as we go from here. So, in this video we'll be looking at determining the equation of a linear or straight line graph when we are given the y-intercept and another coordinate. Now there's another way that this can be asked, but in this video this is how we're going to be doing it and asking the questions. Let's look at some examples. Determine the equation for f, and here are our axes. There's our line that we call f. Now we have 1 point on line f, we have 1, 2, and we have our y-intercept. Now we are going to use that to find the equation for that line f. Let's see how we do this. We write down our formula, or our standard formula for our straight line graphs, y equals mx plus c. Now remember, because it's graph x, instead of y at the beginning, we write f of x equals mx plus c. Do you see how we go from y to f of x? It means the same thing, it's just that we now know that it's graph f we are working with. So, let's look at m. m equals, and our formula that we need to know off by heart is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Please, everybody, you need to make sure that you learn that formula off by heart. So, m equals. Now let's look where I get my y2 and my y1 from. Now, if we look at our axes, you'll see we have our 2 points on them. We've got our y-intercept of -3, and we've got the other point, 1, 2. And we have to choose which we're going to call point 1 and which we have to call point 2. It does not matter which one you choose for 1 and which one you choose for 2. The only thing is you just need to keep it constant. So I'm going to call my y-intercept point 1 and the point 1, 2 point 2. So now we need to fill in our values. So y2, that's the y value for my point number 2. And can you see that it's 2 there on the Cartesian plane? And so I write 2 minus my y1 value is -3. Do you see? 2 minus, and then in brackets, -3. Over my x2 value for point 2 on my Cartesian plane. It is 1 minus, now my y-intercept is -3. At the y-intercept, my x value is 0. And so that is what my m equals. I put that in my calculator, or I do it in my head, and I get m equals 5 over 1, which means m equals 5. So now I write down my f of x equals 5x. Where do I get my 5 from? Well, I've just worked out what m is. So 5x plus c. Now the nice thing about the way this question is structured is that the c is very easy to figure out. Let's have a look. We have our y-intercept of -3. Now straight away, because we've got our y-intercept of -3, we can say f of x equals 5x minus 3. Our y-intercept is our c value. Can you see that? No pun intended. Let's look at another line. We're going to have a line G. Can you see line G? It crosses line F there. And its y-intercept is 4. And its x-intercept is 4. And we want to find the equation for that line. Again, we start off g of x equals mx plus c. Remember, it's g of x, not y, because this line is called g. So we start off with our m equals y2 minus 1 y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, that's the formula you need to learn. Now again, we have to choose which point is point 2 and which point is point 1. So m equals, our point 2 is going to be our y-intercept at 4. Point 1 is going to be our x-intercept at point 4. Again, if you chose the points the other way around, you would still get the same gradient answer. But let's fill in our values. My y value at point 2 is 4 minus my y value at point 1 is 0 over my x value at point 2 is 0 minus my x value at point number 1 is 4. So we put that in our calculator and we get m equals -1. Great, and we've got our gradient. That means we can now write our equation out with our m. And so we've got g of x equals -1x. Where do I get my -1 from? Well, that's my m, then plus c. Now, can you write that as just minus x plus c? Of course you can. I normally leave it to my last step to show that I know my m is -1. Now, g of x equals -x, and now we need to look at our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is 4, and so we write plus 4. Where do I get plus 4 from? It's straight from my y-intercept. And so there we have our equation. G of x equals -x plus 4. So thank you for watching this Key Learning Initiative video on determining the equation of a straight line graph, and it's part 1. Please remember to join my channel and subscribe if you haven't. Remember to like and share this video. And if you have any comments, please do leave them in the comments section and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope this video has been helpful.